All right, guys, I know that I'm not the only person who's talked about this before, right? I know that there are others on YouTube who've talked about this problem, but I do think it deserves to be repeated. There's a problem with wingbacks in Football Manager, especially when we're looking at Football Manager in newgen land, and the problem is simply that there's not enough wingbacks, right? So we'll go here, we'll take a look and see what we've got. We got a problem here. Menagong is suspended because of yellow cards or something. Whatever. We'll figure that one out. We play with these two wingbacks. I'll talk in a different video about this. I didn't want to have fullbacks. I don't want 5 at the back because it's hideous. I didn't want to necessarily have these guys play up here or even up at the top because I thought, yeah, I'm probably better off having them play further back to be at least somewhat conservative. Honestly, the way that they actually play, even on the support rule, is they will end up here or up here anytime that we're attacking. So I don't know. Neither one of these guys has really done much on defense for us. Maybe I should give them a different role, right? Maybe they should be, I don't know, like an inverted wingback on defend or something like that. I mean, I don't know. You tell me what you would do. The problem that we have, though, is not necessarily like where they're playing. The problem we have is that there's like none of these players around at all. So we go over here to scouting. Go over here to scouted players. Might as well look at them first. And let's just go ahead and do a search. We're going to do a search here for left wingbacks, and you can tell that we have seen 4 of them, right? This is the problem. There are like no players who are natural left wingbacks. Oh, we have Peng Li Wei. Oh, sorry, he's inconsistent. Now, I know it's kind of like a meme around these parts, right? We don't have to like throw away everybody who's slightly inconsistent, you know. What about Su Ho Han? No, sorry, more inconsistent and also injury prone. Right, but this is the problem. The problem we have is that there's only 4 of them. I've looked at every single player here at this level, and I've come up with 4 wingbacks, and I think that on the left side, and I think that all of them are inconsistent. Yes, they are. Let's go over here, and we'll look at the right side and sort of see what happens. You'll note here that I don't have any conditions on, so I'm not looking for like, I don't know, anything. These are just players that we've scouted. We have found the grand total of 0 right wingbacks, right? So, like, what do you do, right? What do you do in this situation if there are no players at the position and you really want to play with it because reasons, right? Because it makes sense in the theoretical mind of your tactic. I mean, you've got 2 choices. Number one is you can just, like, use whatever it is you can find and kind of, like, put a slapdash tactic together. It could work in this situation, right? I mean, I'll show you here. So we go over here to the tactics. Theoretically, we could take this position and move him up here and just tell him to play further back, you know, or not to play on this supporting role, instead play on a defensive role. Same thing with this guy here. We could have them play here at midfield as well. That's one option. I prefer option 2. Option 2 is we go take a guy like Menagong, who we found somehow, and instead of playing him as a midfielder, we're going to have him play only as a wingback, and we're going to train him as a wingback. And so he has been training as a wingback. He is now accomplished, right? Do I think that he's going to be a natural at this position? He probably never will. Do we need him to be a natural at this position? Well, probably not, right? His training rating is low, probably because he's upset because I'm trying to get him to play in a position he doesn't want to play in, right? Which is fine. He doesn't like the individual training. Well, you know, he needs to not be suspended. If he were not suspended, maybe I'd listen to some of his complaints. Yang Yiming is the same way, right? So we're going to train him. We train him here as this wingback. He came in not able to play this role. He wanted to play further back as a fullback. I don't want to play him there. I want to play him up here. And so he's put in a lot of hard work and has tried to do that. All right, now I'm not going to give you necessarily like the full breakdown of exactly how to do this. It's not that hard, though, to set it up if you want. We got a guy like this guy, Li Wenqing, and he was a midfielder there on the left side, 29 years old. I mean, I don't know, is this guy really that good? Surplus to requirements. We're probably never going to start him. I brought him in anyway, though, and one of the reasons why I did is because I thought, hey, maybe we could try to train him up as a wingback. So we're trying to do that, wingback on support. Now, he's 29. He's unhappy learning a new position. He's not going to last long. We're going to get rid of that guy probably the first chance that we can. But when you go over here to the under-18 squad, and again, when you look through this, you're not going to see a whole lot of guys who have the ability to play a wingback. Maybe Fang Shengjie. Though I think that we've also, yes, we have been training him as well as a wingback. But you can see he's doing a little bit better. He's showing an improvement in his game. One of the reasons why is he's only 17. So he has the ability to actually develop and to play the different position. even though he's got low determination, which, as you should know by now, is one of those things that's going to make it very difficult for him to actually make any progress. He's still doing okay. You can see here on this squad, I have a whole bunch of guys here, midfielder or advanced midfielder, right side and left side. And every single one of these, when we go through it and to training, we are training them to play that wingback position. So Liang Chenwei is not necessarily doing so well. Let's take a look at this one. Chang Shijie is doing maybe a little bit better, still unconvincing. And well, he's also showing a little bit of improvement. And again, the reason why becomes apparent. This is what I wanted to look at when you look at his age. He's only 16, right? 16-year-old can play at a wingback. Great. We'll take a little bit more of that. But that's basically what you do, right? You look through it and you're like, yeah, you know, we want to get somebody who can play in this position and who maybe is not natural, but who's young and who's good and who will actually put out some effort. So let's go use some young guys and have them train the position. And once they're not makeshift, once they're something closer to accomplished, then maybe we can move them up to the big team. As you can see, we don't have any first-team candidates here quite yet. We're going to make up some because there are some players I'm going to just dump over the first team and say, have at it. But you know, we're going to do okay, I think, when we come down to the long term here on this squad, because we're going to have a number of guys who can play in one position or the other. Last one I want to show you here is Li Han, who we have playing. I think we're having him train as a wingback on the left side. He's upset. He's upset with me because he's not on the first team. He's requested to leave. He's not going to leave anytime soon. I think he's on... Now, he's on a part-time contract. That's the reason why he's not leaving right away. It's going to expire in December. We're probably going to move him up. We'll probably try to try him out just a little bit and see what he does. He's unhappy learning a new position, but he better get up there and learn it because that's where he's going to play, and that's basically the only chance he's going to have of playing on this team. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. He shouldn't complain about much. He's had one appearance in his very, very brief career, and it's because he's only 18 years old, right? But when you get a guy like this who's 18 years old, whether he's happy or not, you can always train him in one of these different positions and see what he does and see if you can't get him to learn the new position. That's the way that you overcome this, right? I mean, yeah, if you're playing against like a huge team and you got a bunch of players out here who don't know how to play this position or that position, you're going to be at a disadvantage. Absolutely. But over time, if you get enough young players, you can train them up, give them a chance to show you what they can do, learning how to play wing back on the left or the right side. You can overcome the fact that this position just doesn't exist in this country. And that's what you do, right? So what I'm telling you here in essence is instead of thinking of Football Manager as a game where everything is like set in stone already and like you can only play players a certain way and these are the tactics that work and you can't go outside this box, you need to be much more creative. Think outside the box. Think of creative ways that you can use players, especially young players. See if you can get something more out of them and see if you can sort of customize the game in a way that makes it more yours and in a way that doesn't sort of compromise what you think are the most important parts of Football Manager. And there you have it. That's what you do when there are no wingbacks available. It's a problem I know all too well. I will talk with you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.